Hey everyone, welcome again to another exciting, well this one is going to be exciting, a live tea tasting of my newest blend, Assam Melody. Now this one is going to be quite interesting, mainly because this is one that I have, well, again I have no idea what to expect. Hello whoever came in, it didn't pop up your name yet. Oh, there's two people, okay. Hey Ma, how's it going? Okay, so, hey Teresa, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I'm glad both Teresas are here now. And Amy, wow, I'm being flooded. Like, I'm not used to everybody, like, showing up so soon. I'm glad you guys are as excited about this as I am. This is going to be a really interesting blend today, because this one I don't quite know what to expect just by the hey Mrs. Cheney, how's it going? Welcome. This one is gonna be from what hey other Mike, welcome. This one from what I gather, it's gonna be kind of like a pu'er, but it's not a pu'er tea. So I'm expecting a really strong, heavy flavor, but I'm clueless as to what to expect. I haven't even smelled it. I have nothing to go on, so I'm going to go ahead and start my water, because you guys are like in super early, so you guys are getting me motivated, and I really appreciate that. So while this is gonna go and let the water boil, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get right into it, because you guys, I'm excited. I'm doing Assam Melody today, and this is, from what I read, it's a region in India that has a very unique, a unique way of like cultivating their tea, and it's like the environment does something to the tea. I don't know quite what it does, but it gives it a nice pungent flavor. So this is supposed to act as kind of like an introduction to teas in that general region. They say it's a really softer version of what they have to offer. So I'm going to give this a shot right now and open it up and see what's going on. Ooh, okay, yeah. I kind of ripped up the top a little bit too much. But that's okay. It survived. Okay, opening it up. Let's see what it smells like. Ooh. Okay, this is interesting. It smells fermented. Like a little bit more. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? It smells fermented, kind of like the pu'er that I've been drinking a lot of pu'er lately, just to get myself accommodated to that kind of taste. This one's got a nice pungent fragrance. It's like a regular black tea, only fuller. So there's like little notes of Ceylon, but among it is kind of like a fruity, almost like a raisin kind of scent to it. But it smells. It's not very strong, not at all. And I really think that it's gonna have a nice wholesome flavor to it. Not too strong, but enough to really get your taste buds going. Hey, Brianne, I guess you're in the passenger seat, hopefully. Otherwise, I don't know, we'll see. You'd be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this out into the infuser, and I'll let you guys see what it looks like. From what I can tell, it's a black tea, but it's very. I don't know what I'd pair with it yet. Let me taste it as it's done, and then I'll be able to give a more informed opinion. But judging by what I have so far, I would pair an entree with it, like probably pork chops. Nothing too heavy. Steak might be a little bit too heavy of a flavor, and chicken too light. So something in between. Oh yeah. It's really coming alive now. Now that I have it, you see. They switched. Hold on, they changed the way that it's arranged here. So I'm gonna switch over my camera. This actually works a little bit better. All right, let me see if I can get a good light on it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a black tea for sure, but it's kind of brownish, almost red and yellow. So you can tell it's been a little bit. It's been cultivated a bit, but it's got a very strong. There we go. It's got a very, well, I don't want to say strong. It's not overpowering. Hey Maria, how's it going? It's not overpowering, but it's got a nice smooth scent to it. So it looks like my water is done. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Now, since this is a black tea, I'm gonna be steeping it at 212 degrees for about 5 minutes. I might want to understeep it just a little bit. The same thing that I did with my Lapsang Sao Chong. That was a very strong one. I don't want to overstep it. So let's see. It's 8:07 now. So 8:07. It's gonna give it about between 3 and 5 minutes. I think I'll go for the gusto here and do it for the full 5. So approximately 8:12. It looks like the the Hawaiian shirt. Thanks for noticing this. I call it my ugly Hawaiian shirt. I'm not a fan of Hawaiian shirts, but when I do wear it, it's just for certain special occasions. As a lot of you guys know, I'm going to be flying out to New York. This is my way of saying I'm going on vacation. Thanks. I'm going on vacation for my sister's wedding, and I'll be staying there for the week. So, I might be a little bit harder to get a hold of while I'm there, because whenever I am there, I'm surrounded, basically. No, I still have my superhero shirts, just not today. I'll be wearing it in New York, trust me. So anyway, yeah. Back to the tea at hand. It doesn't really have a scent to it when it's steeping. Like, it's sometimes certain teas, while it steeps, the guest hosts. Oh yeah, you guys are waiting for my mom. I know. she's excited about this too. Now sometimes it takes a little while for the water to make the scent strong. Some teas it happens right away. Normally, like mint tea comes right out. You can smell it from like halfway across the room. Other black teas, this one it smells like there's a presence, but it's not overpowering. So I'm not getting the idea that this is going to be a very strong tasting tea. So I see why they call it an introduction to teas from the Assam region, because it doesn't smell like it smells like a sampling of it. And I'm really excited about this because I've never had an Assam tea before, and from what I've heard, it's in a class of its own. So it's 8:10 now. I got 2 more minutes to go, and this is gonna be so exciting. I'm really like raring to go here. I'm you know how they say a watch pot never boils? Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm watching this pot, and it's true. It's not boiling. Hey, Jazzy, welcome. Glad you could make it. Geez, I'm like, I'm a little bit hyped today, as you can tell. Working all day and, watching the clock, and now I get to come home, do this, and you know, prepare for my exciting week. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm energized, and I'm sure that this caffeine is not going to make me any easier to deal with. But that's okay, because you know, this is what makes it fun. Yes, that's exactly my face right now. That whole wide-eyed woo. But don't worry, I'm gonna leave the angry rhinoceros home. I'm not gonna. He's not gonna make an appearance. I promise. Well, I hope to promise. That was an interesting turn. Oh, looks like I have 1 minute to go. Yep, it's Friday, and I'm glad to be there. Okay, so I'm gonna be preparing, because it looks like, oh, it's 8:12. Perfect. So my 5 minutes are up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out real quick. Ooh, now that is nice. I lifted the iron top, and the smell just came wafting. I think what was holding it back is this. Usually I use the porcelain one, and I'm not quite used to using the cast iron. So I think that might also be a part of why it wasn't. I wasn't able to smell it as much. But yeah, now that I lift this, it's strong. Oh, thanks. I'm glad. Like, this is, I'm honestly like super happy that I sprung for it, because I love this teapot too. Now, as you guys know, I sweeten my pot with the stevia, and that's my sweetener of choice. It's calorie free, it's organic friendly, really healthy for you, great alternative to sugar. Okay, there's barely a taste on this spoon, but from what I can tell, it tastes a lot like just a regular Ceylon tea, but I'm gonna get the full effect in just a moment. Let me show you what it looks like now that it's steeped. Oh, just change it up here. As you can tell, just as a lot of black teas go, it got a little bit darker, but this one, interestingly enough, it turned more red than black. Usually Ceylon turns like a darker, almost dark chocolate kind of brown. This one, it's tan and red with a little bit of yellow in it. So that looks like it's gonna be a sweeter flavor. No, actually, there's no metallic taste to it whatsoever, and you know that's one thing that I was worried about. Thanks. That's one thing I was worried about when I first started using the cast iron, because I know that some metals they seep, especially when it's brand new and they're not seasoned. The metal pot would sometimes transfer that coppery metallic flavor. This one I have not had that yet. But granted, I only used it that one time. I do this specifically for the stream. Otherwise, I would just use my regular porcelain, because I'm not trying to impress me. You guys, I'm trying to impress. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this baby out. See how it goes. Oh, this thing is so heavy. Ow, ow, and it's hot. Ooh, I keep forgetting. Yeah, I'm not used to this. The metal pot transfers heat a lot easier, so gotta get my second tea rag. Oh, thank you so much. This is what I enjoy to do, you know, and I want to be really informative as well as entertaining to everybody, so that you guys are encouraged to drink more of it. Because this stuff, I love it, and I want you guys to love it just as much as I do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out. Oh, now that is a beautiful color. Very beautiful. It's kind of like a burgundy. Thank you. It's almost, it looks like a kind of bourbon. I really should. I was actually thinking about transferring a lot of my Facebook ones to my YouTube channel, because I do have an account. I just never upload to it. But you know, that's something that I'm gonna be thinking about doing. Yeah, it's caramel. It's absolutely darker than I thought it would be too. Normally black teas aren't like black. They're usually like liquid brown. This one is so dark, it's red. It's like when you make fresh caramel and you're still melting the sugar, it's got that kind of tone to it. And I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it has that same kind of richness to it. I should if watch. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm sure that that's a typo. Okay, and once again, my T-Rex. I love it. Oh yeah, congratulations! I'm really happy. You had a really good selection. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, without further ado, because this is really getting to me, I'm gonna go ahead and take my first sip. Now, from what I can tell, it's got like an almost honey scent to it. Like it's got that sweet, kind of pungent flavor that honey has. Ow, ow, ow! My fingers are getting hot. I gotta adjust my grip a bit. It is super hot. At what point I pre-sweeten the pot, so it's actually in there before I pour the water in. That's just one step that I take before the stream, so that I have more time holding the phone rather than using my hands to do other things. But if for my regular time, I do it after I pull out the infuser. I put the sugar in, stir it, I'm good to go. But it really doesn't make much of a difference when. This is just a convenience for me. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm going to state it once again. I'm going to slurp my tea because that's actually the proper way to taste a tea. In normal company that's supposedly rude, but this is classy. Classy slurping. Oh, this is interesting. Now it's got kind of the same base of a regular Ceylon tea, but there are sweeter hints. Kind of like that raisiny smell that I was talking about before. It's kind of got that little pungentness to it. It's slightly sour, but not overpowering. How much do I use? Normally you're supposed to use a teaspoon per cup, but I like it a little strong, so I usually just do maybe 1.5 to 2 on my pot. Then again, this one also makes 2 cups. So I do it a little bit stronger than they recommend, but that's just my preference. This one, if you were to ice it, I would add more sweetener to it. Hey, Kara, welcome. I would add more sweetener because when you ice a tea, the taste comes out more than like you would taste it more because your taste buds are more exposed to the temperature rather than burning hot and dulling the senses. You get more of the flavor. So I would definitely suggest using more sweetener than normal. I usually use 2 packets of stevia. I don't want to over sweeten it. Stevia on its own is about like 3 or 4 times sweeter than sugar, so you don't really need as much. Hey, Princess, how's it going? Welcome. Now it's got a tiny bit of a bitter aftertaste to it, but it's not overpowering. I'm not a drinker, but I get that sense that this is what alcohol would taste like. It's got a little bit of a little bit of a burn to it, but not very heavy. Did I make what up? Am I making up words again and don't even know it? It definitely has a little bit of a fermentation to it. Not as strong as a normal pu'er, but it's got like the traditional kind of black tea with a bit of an aftertaste. And it's not as pungent as some Earl Greys. A lot of the Earl Greys have the that little kick in the back of the throat. This one is good. My shirt? Well, gee, thanks. Yeah, this is my alcoholic shirt. What would I would definitely put lemon in the actual tea. Pairing it, I would still go with like a heavy dish, kind of like a pork. If you're gonna go with pasta, you're gonna need like a tomato sauce rather than like an Alfredo sauce or something, or a butter, a garlic butter sauce. This is definitely a tea that would go well with a heavier tasting food. Greg, what's up? Welcome. I'll take another sip because this is good stuff. Ooh, this stuff is like really hot. That's one thing that I'm always a little bit leery of whenever I do my my tastings with hot teas in the middle of the summer. It has an effect on you, but in essence, actually, sometimes they say it's a good thing because part of helping you sleep would go to like part of your body goes through heat changes, for lack of a better term, and it helps you go to sleep. I'm not so sure if the caffeine would negate that, but we'll find out tonight. Be more like a Mai Tai to go with my... Yeah, that... I'm assuming so. Hey, Angel, how's it going, man? Ooh, this is... Yeah, I the more that I drink this, the less convinced I would say that this would be a good iced tea. Because now that it's cooling off, the bitterness is coming on a little bit more strong, not overpowering, but enough to really make a difference. Awesome, me too. I'm gonna be in New York tomorrow. Well, I'll be landing technically at midnight, so it's still tomorrow. It's 11:53. I land. Just keeping you notified. So any of you stalkers, you know where to find me. Watch me come in, and then there'll be like 10 cars in a row say, "Hey, pick me, pick me." Yeah, I'm not that popular. I'm just being... I got one ride. That's it, Greg. You know it. Have I ever sampled a tea? Well, I haven't on this stream, but I have had teas that it was just like, ugh. I mean, you already know my feelings about Earl Grey. That it takes a while. I persisted. I'm still learning to appreciate Earl Grey. Not quite there yet, but I am making progress. I do enjoy it more than I thought. And funny thing is, I have seen people make Earl Grey iced, I'm not there yet. Maybe one day in the far, far future, but yeah, I wouldn't do with Earl Grey. But when I say a tea is interesting, that is my general phrase for saying that it doesn't taste like something I can describe right away. You know, like, this one, when I say it's interesting, I'm searching for the, hey Demi, I'm searching for the right kind of adjective to open it. Because, you know, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so sometimes I use interesting as a filler. But it doesn't necessarily mean I don't like it, it just means I'm searching for a relevant term. I don't know what'll go with kangaroo meat because I haven't had it yet, but I'll be able to talk about it in the future. Now, I could say what I imagine kangaroo meat tastes like, but I have no idea. This teapot, thanks. It's my cast iron 5-pound durable knock a dude out teapot. That's essentially what it's for. It's like I can drink from it at day and knock a dude out at night. Be like, oh, you want my wallet? Hold on 1 second. Bow! Of course, I'd have to like get enough motion first to actually lift it and swing, but you know, if the time ever comes. Can I take a guess as to what kangaroo meat tastes like? I'm assuming in between pork and chicken. Like, I don't know. It just it doesn't seem like a real red meat to me, but we'll see. Okay, thanks. You'll see you later, Jazzy. You're welcome to watch the rest of it later. You know where to find me. Your sister said please send more tea. Oh, she really liked the lap sang, huh? I'll see what I can do, because I get points for all that stuff. So yeah, just I'll keep you posted. I'm not sure. That's up for everybody else to say. Yeah, I absolutely do have a weapon if need be. Anybody want to steal my tea, they're gonna come face to face with my pot. For those of you who know my family, we have a habit of using kitchen appliances as weapons. Just so you know. I don't. Oh, okay. I have no idea. I would have to know what kangaroo meat tastes like. I'll answer that question on next week. The of your HP cup? I don't recall. You might as well just send it to me, just in case. Probably not, but we'll see. Oh, and I'll talk to you later, because I know that you still wanted to talk about that broccoli tea. I don't know if you ever looked further into that. I'll follow up with you after the stream. Oh, I'm starting to run a little bit low. I'm going to go ahead and refill. Ooh, this thing is still getting heavy, but I can hold it with my bare hands now. Don't drip, don't drip. Oh, Harry Potter. Okay. Yeah, no, you never sent it. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, it's starting to drip a little bit. Oh, okay. See you later. Have a good night, and I'll catch up with you later, because I want to talk to you about the broccoli tea. Okay, now that it's cooling off, the bitterness is starting to get a little bit stronger. I think that at first it's good, it's nice, but it's starting to cool off a little bit, and the bitterness is starting to take over a bit. I would suggest that if you're going to drink this tea, drink it hot and fast, because it's starting to turn a little bit. It's getting a little bit stronger than I had anticipated. Sometimes a tea it walks that line a little bit and doesn't quite cross it as getting to be too strong, too bitter. This one is starting to cross the line as we go into the cooler version of it. It's perfectly fine when it's piping hot. But I guess that might be what it was designed for. Like, you drink it fast and be done with. This one, a full pot might be a little bit too much if you're having to drink it over time and talk as I'm doing right now. Okay, I'll see you Sunday. Have a good one. Sunday, the big day. If you're still there, Teresa, yay! Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, any comments, anything you want to ask, say, talk about. Oh, yeah, she's going to be kind of super busy, I can imagine. Oof. Yeah, the aftertaste is starting to get a little bit strong. Sure thing. Have a good night, Mrs. Cheney. Yes, happy wedding, happy wedding. Woof. This is turning out to be a Teresa-centered. Oh, speaking of which, Teresa, I don't know if you saw last week's, but people were asking on your behalf what kind of dessert the tea would go with. So you have inspired a whole line of thinking. So be proud. Have I tried cannabis tea? Nope, I haven't tried it. I have had people offer, but it hasn't been an actual tea. It's just, here's some weed, put it in some boiling water, and that's not how tea works. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days. I have no idea. Never say never. But as of yet, no. That I'm not sure of. I didn't do any research on the actual region. From what I can tell, it's probably a very dense forest. Because the kind of environment that it has to be in would be a little bit dark and a little bit what's the word, like dark and damp for the teas to ferment excuse me, in that kind of environment. So I'm assuming that it's going to be in like a low valley kind of thing, but I honestly have no idea. That's something I'll have to Google. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some live answers right now, because Google is a wonderful thing. Assam, India region. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we'll see what kind of an environment it's in. Yep, there is hemp tea. And it leaves you feeling pretty hempty. Ha! Okay, that was bad. I'm slightly ashamed. Just a little bit. Green teas, you want to do it a little bit lighter than the normal temperature. So you'll want to do it more along the lines of like 180 degrees as opposed to 212. Which would be a little bit oversteeping. You might get a little bit, well, depending on the tea. I'm assuming you're talking about the cocoa mint green. That one you don't really have to worry about a saltiness, but you might get a soapiness if you don't really. Yeah, dad jokes. Get used to them. If you oversteep it, you'll be getting a bit of a soapy taste to it. Terrain. Let's see what I pull up, because I was just pulling up a map. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of. It's a very mountainous region. Oh, and it's very green. Yeah, from like all of the overheads, the Assam region of India looks like it's extremely green. It's actually quite beautiful. It's a lot of mountains, like dense forests. So yeah, I'm assuming that I was wrong about the altitude, but right about the environment. And it looks like it's right on the other side of the Tibetan mountains, on the border of China. So that's really interesting. I guess that might be like the origins of a really good tea that Tibetan monks might drink. I'm guessing here, don't quote me, but since it's like literally right there, yeah, I would absolutely love to go to a Tibetan monastery. I mean, just the pictures alone that would take. Whew. Alright, so I'm opening up the floor again while I continue to sip my tea. Ooh, that's starting to get strong. I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to put a little bit of honey in there. I don't want to put too much of the stevia in there because that wouldn't really complement the taste that I'm getting now. I might want to go with a little bit more of a darker kind of sweet. So a little bit of honey might do it some good. I'm almost done with it too, so I might have accidentally put too much honey. But let's face it, there's no such thing as too much honey, you know what I'm saying? But in this case, there might be a little too much honey. Okay. It helps. It helps. I think that might have been my mistake. Trial and error. But honey actually does make it taste a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, now the honey makes it more palpable because the bitterness is taken away by the thickness of the honey. Like it kind of coats the tongue better. So you're not really exposed to the bitterness as much. So I think that honey might be actually a better sweetener than stevia. Well, live and learn. I actually preferred honey when I did my my Bugapoop tea. I did that with I sweetened it with honey, no stevia, and it tasted fine. But when I took it to work and I drank it with stevia, it didn't have the same effect. And I never really considered it before that different sweeteners would affect different teas. So that's going to be something that I'm going to explore a little more in my future endeavors. because this is kind of enlightening. Yes, I'm glad I can inspire you, even if it is just to go into your car and get some, Because, I mean, this is what it's about. I want to spark a hunger in everybody that watches, or rather a thirst, in everybody that watches this, because this is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experience to be able to open your mind and find something that you really enjoy, something that you're really passionate about. And this is what I found. And a lot of people, they just assume that tea is Lipton and that's that. But this is what I'm here for. There's a whole world of tea out there that sometimes you just don't know. I mean, look at me. I've been drinking tea for about almost going on 2 years. Let me see. Actually going on 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years this October. But yeah, this is I'm still learning more about tea. And I mean, there's so much to know that by all means, like this is what I live for. Discoveries and like really chasing your passions. And I'm hoping that I get to awake some of that in everybody. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? I'm almost done with my tea. So if you have any questions, comments, anything at all. Yeah, I would definitely prefer honey over stevia on this one. Oh, it is filling me. Like I'm getting my little Buddha belly. I'm like stuffing myself. I'm great to hear. I'm glad to hear, because this is something that's it's a great alternative, more healthy than coffee. And I mean, it really purifies and it gets your metabolism going. It gets your immunity boosted. I mean, there's so many health benefits. So, cheers. I'm glad that you enjoy it more. And this is what, like the second or third stream that you've attended? I'm glad that I was able to spark that, because it's an amazing experience. It does a lot for me, because I know that this isn't wasted time, All gone. T-Rex is now empty. Oh boy. I am stuffed. All I know is that tonight I am going to sleep well, and I am going to be in a state of euphoria. I promise you that. If the caffeine allows. Oh, you know how it is the night before you have a flight. So I'm going to open up the floor one more time. Anybody have any questions, any comments that you wanna make? We're doing our last call. Well, it looks like you guys are just as satisfied as I am. Oh, wait, what was that? You're going after your mom's French press. Yes, do it. That is... You want to get all of that coffee taste out of there, because it'll definitely affect the flavor of the tea. Tea is a little bit more delicate than coffee, but certainly, yeah, you'll want to clean it out as much as you can. Oh wow! So yeah, that's your second one would do that. Ooh, excuse me. This one, I don't believe so. I don't think so. It's a black tea. I mean, technically, it is, all tea is kind of sort of seasonal. Ralph, you keep coming in at the end, man. Technically, tea is seasonal in general, but not in the sense that it normally is, because it does grow year-round. It's just different times of the year makes it taste differently. Assam Melody. This one is not technically seasonal. There was one that I had. I can't remember the name of it. But I had gotten my first sample packet right before the season started. So that's one I'm gonna have to ask about. It's on my my list. I just don't have access to it right now. But once I do get it, I'll take a look, and maybe I'll do a stream on that too. No worries, Ralph. You do what you gotta do. I know how it is. I got my goddaughter upstairs too, and she's a bundle of energy. I know. So, as you tea bags, of course. So, as you guys know, I'm gonna be in New York next Friday. So my mom is gonna be my special guest, and whoever else happens to be in the house at the time, then they're gonna be held hostage and forced to do the stream as well. So I'm gonna do something that I haven't done yet. Although I have watched the process, I've never actually done the process, but it's a really simple process, and it's a tea that I know a lot about. So I'm going to be doing display teas, and the tea is going to be a jasmine bloom. And as you guys know, jasmine is one of my heartfelt favorite teas, so I'm really excited about doing this. Guest starring my mom, and you'll get to ask her all the embarrassing questions that she's going to be happy to answer. And whoever else you can ask while they're there. And I'm really looking forward to it, because I haven't seen my mom in a year and a half, and this is another way that I get to torture her. So, by all means, do your worst. Alright, anybody else have any other questions or comments before I sign out for the night? Leaving it up to you guys. Yes, scrub it, the cleaner the better. You want to get as much of the coffee out as you can. I would actually suggest, after you have the thing, the press as clean as it can possibly be, boil some vinegar and put it in there, let it sit for about 20 minutes, pour it out, wash it with soap, and you should be good to go. That should get rid of all the extra scent to it. Magnum PI. This is my Hawaiian shirt. This is my signification. Ooh, I'm getting a little congested there. It's my signification that I'm flying out, going on vacation starting tomorrow. So, yep, this is me partying. I actually went to work in this shirt, and people liked it. So, I don't really wear my ugly Hawaiian shirt very often, but when I do, it's for a good cause. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Once again, thank you guys for showing up. You guys mean the world to me. Without you, I wouldn't do this. You guys encourage me every week, and I really, really... You guys are amazing. Have a good night. I'll catch up with you next week, and for all you that want to chat later on, I'll be around. Have a good night, everyone.